This one-shot is going to be called Green Emerald. After Izuku sees All Might and hears Bakugo's advice, Izuku is honestly surprised when himself when instead of fear or resentment, or even sadness, he feels anger. And he hasn't felt this angry in years. And Izuku, when he reaches home, starts figuring out plans to use this anger for something good. And well, being the voice for the people that do not have voices for themselves is something he can work towards. And after the USJ and the sports festival and the stay-in attack, UA student Bakugo Katsuki is reported to be kidnapped. And during the raid to bring back Bakugo, someone takes advantage of it. And the entire world and All Might and All For One see a man or boy in a green suit with a green visor that covers his identity, and the green man in the green visor says, "Hello everybody, my name is Green Emerald. Today, I will show the world what happens when the oppressed is stepped on. And let me show you with these two examples of power. The one of the bright light and the one of the darkness." And All For One says, "What the bleep is he doing?" And Izuku uncovers his face and says, "Hello, world. Now, you might be asking, how can I do anything? Well, quite simply, being quirkless doesn't mean jack shit." And All For One stiffens. Because, as much as, yes, All For One has lots of ego, one thing he never underestimates is people without a quirk. Is because people without quirks need to get smart fighting people with quirks. Meaning, if they have the right tech, they can kill anybody, no matter what the quirk is. And not even All For One has every counter to everything set up in his head. So he's wary. And All Might is seeing this kid and just not really computing the fact this kid wants to fight him. Because Toshinori compares this kid to when he was quirkless and remembers how useless he felt. So goes pretty easy on the kid. And Izuku says, "Well, I will show the world that you both do not deserve the signs of power of oppression you both serve." And All For One looks back and says, shitballs. Yeah, okay. That wasn't the best idea. And All For One uses a telepathic quirk to see what the fuck the kid's talking about. And All For One is very much kicking himself internally because he knew one day he would probably be killed. He doesn't want to admit it because he very much wants to never die. But He knew some dumb decision he made when he was younger was going to kick himself in the ass. And honestly, he expected his little brother's quirk to kick him in the ass before someone that is affected by his actions did. And, well, All For One is not going to stop without a fight. And Izuku turns on his armor, and it turns to militarized form of armor, and he says, "Now, let's play." And Izuku goes running at All Might and sucker punches him in the jaw. And All Might, surprised at the amount of strength, and realizes, oh, it's just the armor. So if I just destroy the armor, the kid's useless. And All For One says, holy shit, that's not even at full power. And All For One's using a couple quirks to see what's doing what, and making it so he could still see, and also calibrate how much power this kid's using. And All For One can't keep track of how much power because it's calculated in 14 different ways. Because this kid has radiation or nuclear on his fucking back, a form of solar, wind, nearly any form of power he can think of making this thing work. Yes, the nuclear power bank is the thing primarily powering it, but even if he was hit by an EMP, he wouldn't be affected. And Izuku says, "Oh, All Might, I've been wanting to kick your ass for a decent while. Hasn't it been a year already? Kid, you don't say kid to me. Don't you say kid to me. When you flat out told a kid not to do his dreams on a fucking rooftop." And Izuku, 1 second, he's on one side of the field. The next second, he has All Might's heart between his hand, his arm between All Might's body, and says, "Interesting. Never thought I would ever have my arm through my old favorite's hero's chest." And Izuku pulls out his arm and heart, and All Might dies. And All For One says, "Fuck." And Izuku says, "All For One, I said that earlier mostly in anger, but I'm going to still kick your ass. Because I have another person here that I need to show the consequences of their actions." And Izuku basically uses All For One as a squeegee. Or not a squeegee, a toy, and just bonk, 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 and basically Bambi's and using All For One as the Bambi stick. And All For One is saying, "Fuck this shit," and warps away with a quirk, because he knows the word tactical retreat. And Bakugo sees everything, and just is frozen. And Izuku says straight in his face, well, Bakugo, Katsuki, tell me, how many hours of torture do you think 10 years of torture is equivalent?" And that is the end of this part. Or, actually, this is the end of this green emerald. I know this is kind of spontaneous, but I kind of like fics that basically have Bakugo and All Might basically get a fuck you from Azuku, because